Chris and Tracker's Audio Adventures.
Series 2, Episode 5, Tennis Court Trial.
Jeez, my mediocre bro. I assure you in the next tennis tournament, I will win. Oh, you always win everything. Wouldn't it be nice if I had a chance of winning a tennis tournament? In the dreams, I had far more experience than you at this sport. Plus, I won many tennis tournament trophies, whereas you have yet to get off the mark without any trophies. Probably because you're fixated in something more glamorous than practicing for upcoming tennis tournaments. Thanks to known experience, huh? I'll show you real tennis power! Look what you've just done! More tennis practice makes perfect! Is that not enough? Course not! I'll show you what Nell's experience equals. Why would you do that? I promise I won't be fixated by fashion again. Lays or lays. You need years of tennis experience, and I have plenty with lots of trophies earned, and you are too obsessed about styling for yourself and other girls you know and love. You'll never beat me in a tennis tournament, even if you're wearing a girly dress. Guess what, Andrew? Screw you! I think I heard enough arguing in the pair of you. Go home to your rooms and reflect on what you've done that went tennis flat.
What's going on? Tennis ball bomb smashing glass windows and blows up in a certain spot. Whatever next?
Simple answer. What's the news? News just in. Tennis ball bombs have been smashing glass windows and blowing up in a certain part of the room, making citizens evacuate their homes. Brothers Andrew and James Slurry, including other witnesses, are due in court this morning to see who was behind this carnage.
I wonder if any of those famous tennis brothers had anything jealous between them.
We're about to find out. Suit up, Chris. We're going to court.
You really are trying to accuse me of something I didn't do. Just because you're more famous than I am, doesn't mean I'm a nobody.
Order in the courtroom! Everybody, settle down!
You have to try harder to beat me in any tennis tournament. How dare you!
Enough!
Today's court hearing will be about a recent tennis ball bomb breakout. As I have in my notes here, someone was so jealous they had to do the impossible. Making people evacuate their homes by tennis ball bombs blast through glass windows and blown up in a room. One by one, I will ask each witness what led to the scene of an event of jealousy. And here to iron all the problems out, it's Chris and Tracker. Greetings, Rinderman. We are here to solve a case. Excellent. I have heard several witnesses who came to watch the brothers play tennis from yesterday afternoon, and we're about to find out. Court is now in session. First up, Mr. Random Guy. So, what were you doing at that time? As far as I know, from the day before the trial, I just finished my lunch at a local cafe in Great Messenden and walked over to the tennis centre for tennis practice. Indeed, I saw famous player Andrew Slurry using a tennis ball machine for practice shots, and I have to say he was very good. So I watched for a bit until a random notification phone call told me to go to a meeting, and that's where my side ends. So I'm afraid I wasn't part of the incident that took place. Okay, you seem serious. You may leave the stand. Thank you. Up next, No Signal Woman. Have you in any way interfered the brothers' state of play?
Not necessarily. I came over to the tennis center and found that the electronic scoreboard was left on, so I fiddled with the wires and permanently cut signal off. That was before I saw brothers Andrew and James Slurry having a confrontation among one another, with Andrew saying that the tennis ball machine, and so James brought it over to him and started practicing. And the machine was now available, I left the tennis center. Therefore, I didn't do it.
You are so weird. Just leave already.
And just one at a time, I'll find more things to decentralize.
I'm so surprised she wasn't the one making all the tennis incidents occur, but the electronic scoreboard. Tracker, you're up. Dogs do love tennis balls, but were you the one behind this?
I'd like to believe that, but oddly enough, no. I do love tennis balls, but I was watching the news this morning and I saw a rugby ball stranded in their local pond. So I went over there and saw a goose taking hostage with the rugby ball. So I had a go at him, and eventually I retrieved the rugby ball back to where it came from hoping to get a supply of dog bones. But when I returned, I saw multiple houses with broken glass windows with a side order of tennis ball rooms from a certain room of each house. That is all I know, and sadly I didn't do it. Nice try though for catching me out.
Oh, you may leave the stand.
Yes, I'm a re-dog!
Up to the stand now, it's Judith Slurry, otherwise known as the brother's mother. What happened in the incident? Before the end of the afternoon, I saw my boys having an argument about who is the best tennis player, so I broke up the argument and sent my boys home to their rooms, and that was it. Strange. Okay, you may leave the stand. Now it's the brothers' turn. What was the argument about? My side of the story was, I arrived at a tennis court with my brother James, and I told him to get the machine. He brought the machine back, and then he dashed off to do a few random errands or something, while I played. James came back 2 hours later and challenged me to a game, but as soon as James hits the ball hard on the electric scoreboard, we had a serious argument. And I even smashed the electronic scoreboard onto my brother and carried on arguing until my mother broke us up and had to go home to our rooms to reflect on the incident. Your turn, James. I was a fan of tennis in my early days when we were in Scoutland, and we were very playful and competitive brothers at this kind of sport, playing in the back garden after school. But when I was a teenager, I lost interest slightly in tennis since my brother was more popular, so I tried fashion and made stylish suits and dresses for women and men, including teenage boys and girls. I even got myself a girlfriend, though we tend to keep our personal lives a secret. Very lately, my brother was acting very strange, telling me what to do, and I was on the brink of separating him, and I tried to show him I could still play tennis, and it turns out I wasn't as good as my early days of playing tennis. Big story, huh? Now I'm starting to get behind what happened. Slurry brothers, back to your normal seat. And Chris and Tracker, step up to the stand. You boys heard the news penguin early this morning on the television. Is that true? Yes. Winston Winter was telling the news earlier about tennis ball bombs that smashed through windows and blew up in a certain spot around a certain room. Every citizen has left the house because of the incident going on. Do you know how tennis ball bombs were made, Tracker? If I can picture this in my head and fully prepared to jog my recent memory, the way tennis ball bombs were made was simply use a sharp pencil to make a hole to put dynamite in, followed by a powerful micro-tablet inside the tennis ball to make a bomb. We even went to the tennis centre before we went to court this morning to see if the tennis ball machine was still there. The shed was open, but the tennis ball machine was gone. So what that means is by jealousy, somebody famous enough would use the tennis ball bombs in the tennis ball machine to scare people off. The most useful information I heard in court all morning. Anybody else?
I heard a loud bang this morning. Dynamite was definitely one factor.
My dog loves tennis balls, but he got scared by explosive ones, and now won't go near one.
I take tablets every morning to numb the pain on my foot until it got better. And yes, a tennis ball machine was perfectly seen by me, but someone is in disguise. Perhaps someone famous was just too jealous to care. Right. They are all very good points you lot made there. I'm going to figure out who did it, and then I'll deliver the verdict. I'll be back in a few minutes. What game shall we play while we wait? Ping pong! Real life sound effects while using the table tennis bats. All created by my silly idol, Doctor Who is it? What? Oh dear. Yusuf! Weird game, isn't it, Chris? Sure is, Tracker. Ha! My turn! Ha! Fancy another round, Tracker? No, thank you. Speaking of which, Renderman is coming back with a verdict. I have the verdict. This person has got so jealous its plan of action was to challenge other people to a game of tennis after a random argument went wrong because somebody was more interested in fashion than tennis itself. I find the defendant, James Slurry, guilty. I knew it was you. Just because I'm more into fashion, that doesn't mean rocket science.
That wasn't me. I do love tennis balls, though. Did you expect James Slurry to be guilty of any incident at all, Mr. Random Guy?
Not at all. Something's not right. One suspect isn't telling the full truth.
I'm starting to see why.
Order! Order! What was that? It was you, Judith Slurry, all along. You were the one causing the chaos, putting dynamite and micro-tablets into tennis balls to make a bomb, and then the machine. I just saw now where you were destroying the court stand. You were the one using it to break windows and blow the tennis balls up so that citizens left their homes. All right, it was me. I only want my boys to be the best tennis players in the cartoon world. But Andrew was a lot better than James, and James was so uninterested and became argumentative, and the public found us so off-putting, I had no choice but to hatch a plan involving explosive tennis ball bombs. Good thing I study science, but everybody is different. You were right about making a hole in each tennis ball with a sharp pencil, putting dynamite and micro-tablets inside them, and use the machine to not just scare people, but also encourage anybody to play tennis and challenge against my boys.
I'm so sorry if all this nightmare happened, but may I be excused now?
Not so fast! If you think you're so clever at making your famous tennis challenge #1, but how about a best of 3 in the Doctor Who is a version of ping pong to see if you have the serve nerve?
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble now. Better put you out of your misery. I'm ready.
This won't take a moment. Ha!
3. My turn to serve. Ha! I win!
Haven't you forgotten this is the deciding round? This serve is on me!
Goodness me, I haven't played tennis in over 20 years.
Which is why I'm about to win the game within a powerful serve. Ha!
Huh? Alright, you win. I'm just not as good as I used to be. I only want the public to love us again, but they seem I was just pushing my boys too hard, and that's why the public chose to support another British tennis player. You, Judith Slurry, are nothing but a strict cheat who keeps pushing your boys too hard. I thereby sentence you to community service until the public are satisfied. Case closed. What have I done to deserve this?
Come on, woman, put your back into it.
Alright, alright. There, 1 down. Many more to go. Oh.
It's so amazing we solved the case and everything is back to normal. Even Mr. Random Guy and Trigger are having a go at tennis. Great, another ball lost. Don't slack when you get the tennis ball. Calm down, we've got plenty of tennis balls left.
Practice makes perfect.
What Jim said, you'll both get better at this sport as time goes on. Fancy watching tennis all day, Tracker? I don't see why not. Thanks for watching Chris and Tracker's audio adventures.